Hello, all you freaks out there. This is Ryan, and I am flying solo tonight with my decaf coffee. Ugh, enjoying this lovely Monday. Well, it's not even Monday. What am I talking about? Tuesday. God, what am I forgot what day it was. I went back into the past because I used to do my show on Monday nights. Now I do it on Tuesday nights. So, yeah. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a good first day of October. First, National Ghost Hunting Day. National Ghost Hunting Day. Hope everyone had a good National Ghost Hunting Day. We had our paranormal investigation and seance at the cabin on 360. What's up, Marshall Brooks? How you doing? On Saturday night, my friend Holly Mullins and her cousin Dallas came down, and we had a nice crowd out there. It was a lot of fun. There was definitely some weird energy that night. I don't know how to explain it to where it would make sense, but it was just electric. It was electric energy. And you see electric, oh my gosh, it was I was talking to Holly on the front porch, and I was like, I feel like I'm drunk, but I'm not. That's how it was. I just felt completely something out of it. I don't know. It's something I hadn't felt out there before. But it was fun. We had a good time. And once we started investigating, things started to calm down, but pick up at the same time. Like, I started feeling more balanced once we started investigating. But at first, man, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even think straight. And Dennis had problems with his motorcycle, wouldn't start, and Howie's cameras kept cutting off. People's equipment kept like shutting off with like full battery charge. They would play about their equipment cutting off and stuff. So I mean, it was definitely an interesting evening. I got some cool EVPs. Actually, we were upstairs in the back bedroom of the cabin, and Howie had just said something about his speaker shutting down on his computer when he was doing the live feed on the Rift Radio Nation YouTube channel. So when we got back in from the woods where we went first, my group did. He came back and he said all the cameras had shut down, and you hear a voice on the recorder saying shutting it down or something like that. So I played it back. I'm like, was this you saying shutting it down? Because he had just said shut it down, and it makes sense for him to say it again like that. But he was like, no, that wasn't me. So that was pretty interesting. And yeah, it was a good time. I think our next event is going to be out at the flag placing at Evergreen Cemetery and Woodland Cemetery on Veterans Day, which is actually on a Saturday, so we can do it actually on Veterans Day. But we're going to go out there, and then we're just going to have people, whoever comes out to help us to place flags, they're going to, we'll just let them come investigate the cabin on that night. We'll do like a fire pit and investigate. It'll be fun. So if you are in the area and you want to help us honor the veterans buried in Woodland and Evergreen cemeteries, which are, abandoned African American cemeteries that fell into disrepair, to put it mildly. Actually, Woodland Cemetery isn't as bad as Evergreen Cemetery is, but because they've actually have somebody who bought it and is keeping it up. Evergreen Cemetery had a group buy it, but then decided they're not gonna use the funds to fix up the cemetery. So, a lot more overgrown at Evergreen Cemetery than it is at Woodland Cemetery. But it's a good cause. It's fun. It's, you get to get out there and get some exercise and, honor the men and women who helped keep us free for all these years. I'll go, although I do want to wish everybody a very happy Mean Girls Day. That was today. If you like the movie Mean Girls, today is your holiday. And what better way to celebrate National Kevin Day than to buy the Kevin in your life a candle from Dutch Soy Candle. You can even see it. Nope, can't see it. It says Dutch Soy Candles. If you can't, no, it says Dutch Soy Candles right there. Kind of bright, but this is the Haunted Woods candle, which is the same candle I had last week. It's been sitting on the table next to the smells good. It smells, can't even talk. Smells good. It's been sitting on the table next to me since last week. And I'm trying to think of the smell. So I can describe it to you. I don't even know. It smells good though. I could just describe it, but it'd be a terrible job. So tonight we have got Lexy Warfield from Paranormal Visionary joining us on the show tonight. She is going to talk. We're going to talk ghosts. We're going to talk about her haunted tours she does, and she's even sent me some undeniable picture of a paranormal evidence that I'm going to play for you guys too. So let's go ahead and add her to the show here, and we'll get this party started right now. Hey, how are you?
Hey, Ryan. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah.
It has been too long. How's everything going in your life?
I've been busy. I've been trying to find more time for the, paranormal, hence why I got a job doing ghost tours and history tours now.
Oh, man. So where do you work? What tours do you do?
Right now I'm doing through an agency called U.S. Ghost Adventures. They're all across the United States. But I want to... Yeah, U.S. Ghost Adventures.
Oh, cool. So when you do these tours, do they tell you, okay, you go to these places, or do you find places to go to? Like, how does that work?
So I've been perfecting, my tour guide skills, but basically, we meet them at one location, and I get paid a set amount for the hour, and sometimes people tip as well. And, I've been doing more and more research on, just how dark the history is in Richmond. And there's so many places, that I've added on that we walk by, because Richmond just has a very dark, negative history to it.
What is one of your favorite locations to talk about when you go on these tours?
Oh, most definitely the African American burial ground. That was also the town's hanging grounds.
Where is that?
It's in Shockoe Bottom. It's next to the Lumpkin Slave Jail. This is just behind the train station on Main Street.
So when you're giving these tours, do you become a character, to help to tell the stories, or do you just tell it as Lexy? How do you go about getting yourself ready to give these stories, tell these stories?
So I try to do a perfect blend of comedy and history, and also knowledge on the paranormal. I try to dress up and go with the theme, because most of the history, with Richmond is colonial. Mm-hmm. Except the 70s and 80s, we had a bad crime spree then, but most of the ghosts of Richmond are 1700s, 1800s, Civil War ghosts.
Tell you what, I did a EVP session. I was in a apartment complex, but it was an old warehouse, and in the basement it was all when I first went down there, I opened the elevator doors opened, and I just felt really sick. So, and I was like, I can't do this right now. So we left. And then, that never happened to me before, but I feel like I was going to throw up. So a few days passed, and we decided to go back down there again. So in the basement, it was, I guess they use it for storage, but it was a big, like huge space with like, I don't know, mannequins and just like clothes hangers and stuff. It was just boxes and stuff. It was just a bunch.
Now, where was this at again?
It was on 3rd Street.
Oh, okay.
Right close to the Richmond Convention Center.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go down there again, and we do an EVP session. And I get back, and I go back and listen to it. I wasn't expecting to get anything, but I actually got an EVP of a woman crying, saying, "I want cocaine," or "I need some cocaine." I need some. It was like clear say, "I need some cocaine." It was yeah. Unless there was someone down there with us who really needed cocaine, and decided to tell us that in the recorder.
That was probably the 80s time period.
Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, early 80s or 70s. But
yeah, we were at the top of the charts for murder then. A lot of people don't. We're not even in the top 20 now. It's safe for me to do tours in the evening, but back then.
There was a time when like Richmond was like number 2 in like the country for like murders and stuff, and it was crazy. But like you said, it was from all different types of time periods. Lots of drugs and stuff though. So when you are there different tours, like someone like do you have a Civil War tour or like an Edgar Allan Poe tour or something like that, where it's like, or like you'll go to certain houses from a certain time period?
So I have 2 separate tours. I do the Hollywood Cemetery tours. That's more so history. A lot of history there. And then I have the Shockoe Bottom tours, and that mainly has history and paranormal. And we'll walk the blocks because it's so much. The tour is about an hour, and it's so much history. I'll just walk us a certain around, like in a perimeter, and we'll walk these areas, and I'll stop and talk about them. And I've had people capture ghost pictures while on the tour.
Wow. What talking about Hollywood Cemetery, what would be like your favorite person to talk about? What's your favorite story to tell when you walk around Hollywood Cemetery?
If nobody's visited that cemetery yet, I highly recommend it. Did you know why it was called Hollywood?
Because there are holly bushes around.
Yep, it was called Hollywood before Hollywood. It was the 8th oldest cemetery. But my favorite site to see is the Confederate pyramid. It's to the Confederate women. It has 18,000 Confederate graves over there, and the monument's pretty big. It was probably very hard for them to build back in the day, and they took the stones from the James River. And the interesting story behind it is the very top stone at the top. They had one man that was a thief, a horse thief, Thomas Stanley, and he climbed all the way to the top and wet the pulleys to pull the stone in place and right at the stone, and they said he was transferred and got his freedom. So I think it's a pretty interesting story, and it's a sight to see. It's a pretty big pyramid. The president's buried there too.
I mean, that's a pretty good deal. If you do it and survive, you get get your freedom. But if you fall, you die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take your chances, I guess. So I'm going to tell you something. You talk about Hollywood Cemetery. You know, I was talking about, if you know, Herbie, we were talking about doing our flag placing at Evergreen Cemetery on Veterans Day. Well, when Evergreen Cemetery was built, it was built to be the Black Hollywood Cemetery. So picture Hollywood Cemetery, how it is now, but covered in trees and vines and root and weeds and pretty much completely taken over by a forest. And that is what we're dealing with at Evergreen Cemetery. All those monuments, all those graves that people spent a lot of money for, those aren't cheap, big statues that are now completely covered in vines and you know, weeds, tall grass.
So why is that? Why isn't the city helping take care of this place?
Because it was not built in the like perpetual care, which means basically the city won't take care of it. You have to take care of the graves. The family has to take care of the graves themselves. So some of these markers that were, you know, put in the early 1900s, maybe late 1800s. You know, the people move away. People forget. You know,
That's sad.
it's just over time. You know, they just fall in disrepair, and then after a while, when you know the neighborhoods aren't as good as they used to be, you know, and you don't want to go out there and take care of it, it becomes overgrown. And there are people who do go out and take care of the graves, but they're more recent. And so, you know, we've been going out there for almost 8 years trying to find the flags. And there are people who volunteer to go out and they go out every weekend and they try to clean it up, but there's only so much they can do when it comes to keeping it clean, especially during the summertime when everything is just insane.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just funny thinking about how nice Hollywood Cemetery looks, and then you go someplace like Evergreen and Woodland Cemetery, which is better because there's someone around there. This guy named Marvin, I think that's his name. He bought it, and he's really done a good job of cleaning it up and keeping it I won't say pristine because that's not the right word to use, but keeping it clean, I guess, is the best word, the only word I can think of. But as far as like famous people buried out there, Arthur Ashe is buried at Woodland Cemetery. He's the famous tennis player.
Oh,
and
wow.
Maggie Walker, you do tours down there. You must have heard of Maggie Walker. Her grave is at Evergreen Cemetery.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
And you can join us.
I definitely will. It's on the 11th, so
Yes.
I will make sure of next month. So I'll make sure to schedule off.
Marshall,
right now.
Awesome. We'd love to have you. And like I said, when we that night, we're gonna have a get together at the cabin for everyone who comes out and helps us place flags. So if you want to come out, join us for an investigation at the cabin. We would love to have you come back out there.
Yeah, I enjoy doing events like that. I like how you help the community. You know, I definitely want to spread more awareness of that.
I like being able to do stuff like that, like to help out and use the cabin as a good way to help educate the public on the paranormal and give back as best we can to help out and do what we can to help better the community.
I think that's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Marshall Brooks, wouldn't the vines and overgrowth make them more eerie, especially in a dense? Oh, it is definitely eerie. There is a mausoleum was broken into, and someone had taken the bodies out,
What?
taken the jewelry off and set them on fire.
Oh my God. See, I had talked to the owner of Hollywood Cemetery because, normally cemeteries aren't haunted, but Hollywood is.
Mm-hmm.
And they have security stationed there at night. And I had called them up, a few years back when I was really into investigating. I was like, hey, can I get permission to do, like a history/investigation and come overnight? He's like, I'm tired of these damn kids coming over here and desecrating graves and cutting up cats. And, there's some sickos out there,
Cutting up cats.
Yeah, just put on. There's a lot of witchcraft at that cemetery. Like, you have to be careful about, certain items that are just like a jar that's in the ground. Just I would just don't touch that.
Well, I mean, now that I think about it, there are people who do, crazy shit. Wow. Now they do crazy shit and they fucking tape it and they record it on TikTok. Used to be you do crazy shit, you kept it to yourself. Now you do crazy shit and you put it on for everyone to see.
Yeah.
God, I keep looking for like bones or like I'm like, oh my God, I can find a skeleton, but the way the graves are so sunk in, at Evergreen, basically you get the topography is like this because it's so it is, and it's really, it's kind of it's kind of weird because it's the overgrowth and the way it looks that gives it its kind of luster, for the right lack of a better word. If it was just if it was just a cemetery that was completely cleaned up and looked great, I don't even know if we would even be going out there. But it's the fact that we found this cemetery that was neglected, and we thought the soldiers that were buried in that cemetery deserved to be respected as much as the Confederate soldiers that are buried and the other soldiers that are buried in the more well-kept cemeteries.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like we talk about how dirty how overgrown it is, but that's the overgrowth is kind of the reason why we go out there anyway. So it's interesting. So what is your? So it was the temple. Is there a particular person at Hollywood Cemetery that you enjoy talking about?
So one of the most visited mausoleums is W.W. Poole's mausoleum at Hollywood Cemetery. Are you familiar with that?
Is that the vampire?
Oh, yes. So that actually, everybody says they spot the Richmond vampire there. And, I'm an investigator, but I'm a little skeptical on that one. That story actually stems from the Churchill Tunnel, which is on my tour. One of the men that were next to the boiler when it exploded, he was all jacked up. His face was melted and his teeth were caved in, and he ran 2 miles across the James River and into that mausoleum, and they were chasing him thinking he was a creature. So that's the story it actually stems from, but people have came over there, and the owner was telling me how they have desecrated that grave, and they've had to move Poole into a undisclosed location.
Now, do you think he really ran 2 miles from the tunnel and then went into a mausoleum? that was probably closed at the time. I mean, how did he get into the mausoleum? But he's
I don't
basically
know.
on fire.
That's what they said. They said that he looked like something like a creature. And when they finally picked him up, it was documented that he died at Gray Street Hospital. I do think it's odd that he ran into the mausoleum. There is some odd occurrence at the mausoleum as well. Like the lamb, they changed it. Apparently, the lamb would cry blood. So it's definitely something odd there. The apparent original person that was buried there was the wife, and then the husband. And apparently, the husband was a Mason as well. So you see a lot of Greek architecture around the mausoleum as well.
Tell me the story about the cast iron dog that is up on the hill in Hollywood Cemetery.
Oh yes, that's the little girl. She died at 3 years old, actually 2.5 years old. And back in the day, a lot of doctors, like if you walk through Hollywood Cemetery, you'll see a lot of infant graves, because back in the day they had a high infant mortality rate. A lot of people didn't wash their hand. Doctors would deal with cattle and then handle children, so a lot of people would die from childbirth. But that dog actually stems from the Civil War. It was placed there so they wouldn't melt it down for scrap metal over the little girl's grave. It said she used to walk down the street on Broad Street and would see the dog in a store, and some person donated it. But that's the story behind it. And it's one of the most visited spots. People claim to see the dog move and hear giggles and laughs over there. And I always see a lot of offerings for the little girl as well, little trinkets and toys.
Yeah, I've got over there and I've seen people leaving toys and stuff for the little girl. And it's really sad, the story, but it's really also really neat that the dog's there, and it's been there for, over 150 years, still standing guard over her grave. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of different pet statues and angel statues, but by far that the dog stands out to me and is one of my favorite animal guardian statues there.
I remember reading that story in Ghosts of Richmond, and that really kind of struck a nerve for me. So I'm going through your message you sent me, and you said, I also want to talk about 3 a.m.
Oh yeah. So a lot of people, I talk about this on my tour sometimes, because we have Masonic Lodge on our tour too. It was built 1788, and the number 3 is a very spiritual number as well, because normally people with, the paranormal world would think of, 6, but 3 is very important as well. 3 a.m. is believed to be the time Jesus Christ, the opposite time. Jesus Christ died at 3 p.m., hence 3 a.m. That's why it's the witching hour. And anything that's demonic, in my experience, comes in 3s and does things in 3s to mock the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they get scratched, it's in 3s. And yeah, I heard 3 a.m. is the witching hour. Because it's between halfway between night and day. Or it's still morning, but it's still light and dark, I guess, because midnight and then
it's just
6 a.m.
perplexes me, because you can't always understand it all, but just in my experiences, when I experienced my demonic encounter when I was younger, it would always pop, come around 3 a.m., you know. So I definitely think that means something in the, paranormal world. Like if you're an investigator and you're trying to get actual evidence, I, recommend you investigate between the hours of 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. because I feel like you're more likely going to get something, especially on the date something occurred as well.
Yeah. I've got that song 3 a.m. by Matchbox 20 stuck in my head now. It's 3 a.m. and I'm so lonely. So you had a demonic encounter at 3 o'clock in the morning. What happened there? How did that take place?
When I was younger, I had quite a few experiences. One of them, so at my old house, my mom, I don't support some of the things she did, but she would practice some dark witchcraft. And I remember capturing a dark figure, above her altar. And one night, one of the nights that stood out to me is it was 3 a.m. and I was in high school then, and I was, doing homework last minute. I shouldn't have been doing that late, but at least I was doing it. And I was in the living room, and it was, pouring down, raining outside hard. And the next thing you know, I hear boom, boom, boom 3 times on the door. 3 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night. Scared the shit out of me. I was like, I don't know why, but I was like, let me go look who's knocking on the door this time. And I went and opened the door, and it scared me because I felt like something rushed through me, even though there was nothing out there. And hand to God, if you go to this house to this day, there's still a crack in the middle of the door. It has a crack in the middle of the door from that night, still to this day.
So do you think your mom was trying to conjure something when she was was she trying to make contact with the demon?
She had the Book of Solomon, and she claimed that she could trap a demon. I have certain beliefs on things, and study the occult, and I'll go and investigate stuff, but I'll only go I won't go too far with it, because you can really get something attached to you or bring something home, and it's scary. Like when you really have like some type of demonic encounter, you definitely don't want to have it again.
I was looking through some of the pictures I have, and came across the picture you sent me of Randy's window in the brick rancher you took. Remember that picture?
Oh yeah.
Of that face looking at, yeah. That was crazy. That looked demonic to me. I mean, I don't know, but the way it looked, man, it just looked evil.
Oh yeah. So like, one thing, I would tell people is if you feel like something's there, take a picture, because it might really be there. We have these instincts for a reason, and technology can sometimes pick up things that our naked eyes cannot see.
Trust your intuition. And what do you have to lose? Nothing.
Yeah.
You're not losing film. You're not losing barely any time to pick up your camera, take a picture. And if you don't get something, that's fine. Whatever, delete it. But if there is something there, there you have it. But I would definitely, if you're going to do that, definitely take 3 pictures in a row, just to be sure that what you see is actually what you see. That way you can show people too. Be like, here are 3 pictures, boom, 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 right in a row, and here it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was a pretty good capture you guys had out there.
Thank you.
And So when you were kind of harp on this, but when you were growing up, was there what was it like? Would she go downstairs in the basement? Did she have people come over and like cloaks and shit? Like what kind of stuff was she trying to do with her witchcraft?
I would I learned my lesson, you know, not to be involved with it, but I would see all types of stuff and offerings and swords and books, and she even had a skull that she claimed you know was real. Hopefully it wasn't.
Do you think, being around that has helped you as far as being able to experience paranormal activity? You think they're attracted to you because of what happened in your younger years?
Yeah, like, you know, I definitely believe I do have a sense to it. I feel like some things can, you know, sometimes block your sense. Like if you smoke or do a lot of drugs or eat a lot of bad foods, I feel like that, you know, blocks our senses
Mm-hmm.
more, the more purified we are. So I'm trying to get a better state of mind again, you know, and re get in touch with this paranormal stuff, because you know you gotta kind of stay grounded for this stuff, because it can drain you, like you were talking about earlier with the batteries draining. It can drain you too.
No, I know. I've seen people, you know, get affected by it, and you dealt with it when you heard that knocking on the door. Because I'm assuming, was your mom asleep when it happened, or was she there with you?
uh so I woke her up, and she came out in the living room, you know, because I like I'm sorry, like I'm freaked out. That ain't right. I'm waking somebody up.
I
You
mean,
know.
yeah. I mean, I would be like, "What the hell did you do?"
And she was like, she came in the living room. She's like, I definitely, and this isn't even the worst encounter I've had. You know, I had something happen prior, you know, before my mom really was into witchcraft like that as well. But had brought her out in the living room, and she was like, yeah, I definitely feel like, you know, something's in here. And she seen the crack in the door, and she was like, oh my God. And, you know, I went and laid in the bed with her, and I just felt like something was around and creeping. You know, it was very scary.
Was there like other like occurrences that happened in the house, like small things that were weird that could be contributed to what she was doing?
All right, well, let's just put it this way. You know, my husband, he's a skeptic, or he likes to claim to be a skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, one night he was out, and this is before we were married. He was out in the living room at this old at the old house, and I was sleeping in the bedroom. And next thing you know, he's shaking me real hard. He's like, Lexy, Lexy, get up. I was like, what? He's like, the remote just flew across the room. I was like, what? He's like, I'm going home. I said, no, you're not. You just woke me up. You're not going home.
You're not leaving me here with this. What the hell?
And he was, you know, really freaked out. He said, I can understand it falling, but it flying across the living room, you know.
Tell you what, man. No one's a believer until it actually happens, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, now I believe it." But it takes that one thing to happen where you can't explain it. Like he said, if it fell or something, like okay, well, maybe. But when you see it fly across the room, man, that that'll get your attention
Oh yeah.
for sure, man. That is, man, I've never had anything like that happen to me. Although the other day I was in the living room, and RJ has this little Play-Doh pizza maker thing, and in the middle of it is this little silver tray, circular tray looking thing. You put the dough on, you spin it around, you put toppings on it. Well, I was sitting behind the couch, and the Play-Doh oven, the pizza oven, was on his table in front of the couch. I was nowhere near it, and the little pie thing started spinning, or spin once. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I went over there, and I thought maybe if you spin it clockwise a little bit, it'll lock in place, and then it'll spin back. So I turned it, and it's just spun back without locking in place. Did it again, just spun back. So it doesn't lock in place. So something made it spin. And I don't know what it was, as far as logically, I don't know what it was. Illogically, I know what it was, but it just, I'll have stuff fall on the floor for like no reason, and I'll come back. I can't figure out what it was that fell, but definitely like chips or something will fall randomly that have been sitting up on the shelf, for days, and all of a sudden they just fall over.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I am going to go onto YouTube. I'm going to check out I'm going to pull up your, the video you sent me earlier. Now I skipped to the part that has the evidence. So if you want to talk about what you said in the actual beginning part of the video, the introduction.
Basically, that my name is Lexy, and I do tours over there at the burial ground, and that I captured one of the best ghost pictures in the world. I think, in my opinion, one of the most undeniable ghost pictures. And I also, just wanted to do a short clip because, that place is hard to investigate because you have all the noise from it being by the train, and then, 64 and 95 kind of somewhat built on top of half the burial ground. So you have all that noise in the background. But I think it's interesting because, a lot of the times it, we'll capture orbs there, and, the lights will do weird things, flicker on and off, or all cut off at once. Just a lot of odd occurrences there at the burial ground.
So where is this, the slave burial ground?
Yeah. So who knows how many people have been actually buried there. The site wasn't discovered until 1996, and it's even believed that the surrounding stones that were used for the gallows were helped, used for the 64 and 95 bridge.
So, I mean, I know like places like St. John's Cemetery has got a lot of people buried in it, more than the graves that you see, buried bodies on top of bodies, and that's just people, who they kept records for. I'm sure they treated the slaves as if they were just like livestock, and didn't even bother to keep any records of when they passed away. So yeah, right, who knows how many people?
It's just to give you like an estimate of how many people are buried there. Richmond traded as many as 350,000 men and women, and the site was used from the mid 1700s probably till the end of the Civil War, and also everybody in town was hung and executed there. So all that negative energy there, it's definitely some activity there and gives off very eerie vibes.
All right, so I'm going to play the video here. It's starting at 4:09. I'm just going to let it play through, okay?
Okay.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, I seen it.
Sorry.
There you are. There you are. All right, now I want you to go over here and do the same thing. So come on. Get away from them. Come on.
Corey's funny.
Are you a good one or a bad buddy? Come on, show us with the light. Turn on if you're good. Make it blink twice if you're bad. Okay, that's good to know, man. You can turn it. Hey, can you cut that one back off? You don't have to. Lexy. Okay, okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to make a short video. You know, we have. But
Well,
yeah,
let me see.
definitely hard to alter, you know, a lamp like that or make that go on and off.
That is pretty cool. I have to admit. Now, I did notice that there was a lamp post that was kind of blocking one of the lights. That wasn't the one you were looking at, though?
Which one are you talking about?
Go back. Hang on. Yeah, share screen.
There's a lot of lights there, and recently a lot of them went out. And I don't know what the city is going to do about them, because I know the lights were originally there for a parking lot VCU had built on top of the burial ground.
So is this a lamp post right here?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to.
There it is. I see it.
Lexi.
Okay, I saw it. I saw the light blink like right up here real quick.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, definitely saw the light blink there.
Hey, can you cut that one back off? You don't have to. Lexy.
Has that ever
Okay.
happened? Has that happened before?
Oh yeah, so it happens all the time. During the tour when we had like that blood full red moon, and I had the extended tour. I was walking everybody because I'll walk them through the train station parking lot to get there. All the lights on the way there were flickering. This was one night where the energy was really, really powerful, and it was freaking the tour out. Like I have a speaker microphone if I have a large crowd, and that died, and then the lights started flickering, both at the same time. And we start walking closer and closer to the location. I'm telling people, take pictures. And I had people capturing orbs just going by, you know, during the tour. I've caught thousands of orbs just on the ground in pictures. It's crazy.
That is awesome. Are there particular nights, like times of year, that are more active than others?
So I would think this time of month, because, you know, we have Richmond, especially October 10th, because that's when we had a major rebellion took place in the year 1800. Richmond, Gabriel, a literate blacksmith slave, was trying to start a rebellion. And, a summer thunderstorm wiped out, communication. So the, townsfolk captured his family and, everybody associated with them and executed them. And they captured Gabriel as well and executed him on October 10th, 1800 at the burial ground.
Do you have you investigated out there on the 10th?
No, I'm considering doing it because I had my equipment acting up that night. Hence why I was filmed on a phone camera, and then my spirit box broke too. So because I want to do a spirit box session there.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really want to do audio recordings because the highway noise and
It's hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hard place to investigate. But if you want to get spooked out and capture some pictures or experience something, it's definitely there. It's some strong energy there.
Yeah, I know when we do our investigations at the cabin, we were so close to 360 that it really messes with the EVPs. Um, I can't imagine, doing it so close to the highway and with all the cars going by.
Oh
That's
yeah.
really gotta hinder your ability to even hear anything unless it's like right up on the recorder and it's completely and really clear.
Yeah.
So we are getting close to the end of the show, and just want to give you a chance to talk about where people can get in touch with you to book your tours. I know, Halloween's coming up, and everyone's going to want to go out and go on, check out the investigations and go on all the haunted tours and stuff. Does it pick up for you this time of year compared to the other ones?
So I've been trying to get in the Halloween spirit because so far I've been a little slow right now. I'm kind of surprised, but normally, yeah, like I've gotten groups of up to 35 people, before. So hopefully people get in the Halloween spooky spirit soon and come on my historic spooky ghost adventure.
Yeah, I mean, this is the time of year. Hopefully, it'll pick up. How do people get in touch to try to book it?
So you can just look up Paranormal Visionary on Facebook or Instagram and message me there. Or you can go to US Ghost Adventures and book some tours in Richmond too. But if you want me to personally tour you, I would go ahead and message me because I give the best tours.
Well, of course you do. Yeah. Do you have any investigations coming up as far as like with the team and everything?
So, I'm thinking about investigating the Poe Museum. Hopefully, they'll let me. I'm emailing them, and they said they have to get the advertisement to person to email me back. So they didn't say
Mhm.
no, because I captured a ghost picture, right outside the museum, and that place. It's the oldest house in the city. It was the plaque says it's kind of funny. It says probably built in 1737. So they don't even know the exact date the house is built, and it's definitely right by the paranormal hotspot that I like to call it in Richmond, and it's 3 different entities there. A lot of activity out. I would love to investigate that place.
I tried to upload the slides the pictures you sent me, but the StreamYard doesn't only takes Google Slides, and I didn't know that, so I was trying to upload them on the Google Slides while I was doing this, and I was like, well, I didn't want to uh, try to pay attention to that, try to do that while paying attention to you at the same time. But let me try it again one more time, see if I can get it to work.
If
Upload file.
you can't get it to work, they can just pull up the pictures on Paranormal Visionary, like I said, Facebook or Instagram, or they can watch the video. You showed a clip of, because I think they're undeniable.
Okay, here's one. Let's see here. Invalid file type. Yeah. Yeah, definitely check out the video. Go to Paranormal Visionary on YouTube and you'll find the video. You can check out the evidence that Lexy has. I'd like to thank you for coming on the show and talking with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And I'd love to have you back on. We'll talk some more in the future.
I would love that. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a
Have
great
a good
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. I always enjoy talking to Lexi. She's a lot of fun to talk to. Next week is our October birthday celebration. We got Holly Mullins coming on and Dana Marie Volmer and Jerry Pritchard Reyes from Vibe Time with Jerry. So join us next week, the October birthday celebration. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. No real direction to conversation, but it'll be a interesting conversation. And then of course CR will be joining us too. He'll be the honorary October birthday child. And I think Rhonda will be joining us as well. So it will be fun and laid back show. Yeah. So I don't even really know how to describe it because usually it just ends up us talking about a whole bunch of different shit. We'll talk about spiritual stuff, of course, with Holly. There'll be spiritual stuff, and we'll talk about meditation and how I don't meditate enough. And
thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
And all sorts of other fun stuff. So definitely look up Lexy Warfield on Facebook. Check out Paranormal Visionary on Facebook as well. And look up Paranormal Visionary on YouTube. You can find us on the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show on Facebook and YouTube. And I think it's at Freakin Awesome Show on Instagram. We will be back here we'll be back here on Sunday night with CR and Rhonda for the Freakin Awesome playlist. This Sunday, we're talking about our favorite Halloween songs. So join us this Sunday night at 9:00 p.m. Also, if you're in the neighborhood on October 14th and 15th, Angie and I are going to be at the Richmond Nightmare weekend. It's a GalaxyCon and horror convention. We're going to do our show from there. A live broadcast of Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. Our guests are going to be Austin William Ingle, our co-host and founder of Forgotten Explorations. He's going to be joining us Saturday at 2:00, and on Sunday Lexi, come see us. And Sunday at noon, Dennis Eslock will be joining us. So we're looking forward to that. It's a big opportunity for us. We're super excited about being able to go out there and present the show to everybody. It'll be a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys out there. Thank you again, Lexi, for coming on the show, and we will see you on Sunday. Same freaking awesome time, same freaking awesome channel. Good night, guys.